Well, fit like. We're going to have a look at some Alan Moore books today. Obviously there's all his famous ones that everybody knows, but I've kind of had a look through what I've got and taken out some of my favourites of maybe the lesser well-known ones, and see what you think, if you agree with me, if you think I've missed one, or even if you've never heard of it. Let me know, and we'll have a talk about it. The first one I want to start with is 1963. First issue's called, see that? First issue's called Mystery Incorporated. Each issue's named differently. I'm actually missing book 2 and book 6 of this run. There's 6 issues in total. I've got 1, 3, 4 and 5. So if anyone's got them and wants to trade for them, I guess, give me a shout. Clearly this came out in 93, but clearly these are modelled on kind of early, 60s and 70s Marvel books, and the tone of the whole thing is pretty much that, ripping into Marvel a little bit. I suppose given credit where it's due at the same time, but I mean no holding back. I mean, even the adverts on the back, see if we can find a good one. Yeah, I mean all the adverts on the back are piss takes as well. There's one for Monster Size Commies there for $1, and this one, Shamed by You English, so decent. It's even got inside, each story is always referring back to other issues and stuff that obviously don't exist. They're just ripping into Marvel entirely. There's a version of what would be Stan's soapbox. The letters pages are all made up, and it is really, really good. Yeah, here you go, look, a pageant of possibly pointless postings from the parlour of perfection. So that would be what would be Stan's soapbox in the Marvel books of that time. I believe he goes by Affable Al. Yeah, Affable Al Moore, Roaring Rick Veitch, and Dash and Dave Gibbons. I mean, the 3 of them together anyway. That's brilliant. Yeah, so like I say, there's 6 of those. It's called 1963, so that's how to look for it. You can see it up in the corner there. But yeah, it is. They're really good. I mean, they've obviously done the, like I say, yeah, credit where it's due, but they still have a little dig. So anyway, that was the first one. The second one, I've had in 2 different copies. I actually gave it away, but I got a better version of it, and that's the Ballad of Halo Jones. This is the Quality Comics version. I believe there's 10. I'm lying to you, there's 12. This version, it originally came out in 2000 AD, and even for someone like me who wants all the original stuff, collecting issues of 2000 AD for 3 pages a story is just not happening. So I had a trade, and the trade was really good, and it printed it black and white, same as as it would have came out in 2000 AD, and it was really good. It cost about £6. So I mean, if you just want to read it, go ahead and do that, but I would recommend going for the quality reprints, because they have been coloured, and I mean, Gibson's art's awesome anyway, Ian Gibson, but it really benefits from the colour, I find. You don't lose out on his line work, but I mean, this is great. This is one of my favourite Alan Moore books. This, Swampy, obviously. I really like From Hell, League, Top 10, Promethea. Yeah, but I mean, it's up there, it's in there. I mean, they're all good. They're all good, really. Well, that's not necessarily true. But anyway, yeah, we'll just have a quick flick through some of the colour covers. So yeah, it's 2000 AD. He did a few things at the time with them, which was this one called Skizz, which is kind of like an alien crash lands in, I don't know, London. I've only read that one once. I got the trade of that, but be careful if you're buying. Actually, I wasn't going to point it out, but I will. This trade of Skizz, where is it? If you're going to buy it, just watch out, because I've got this one, and if you can see there, just on the edge, I don't know if this was a batch error or if it's just this one, but I've always been wary ever since. This, you can see the 2000 AD label is kind of missing there, and that goes into the book, unfortunately. So as you can see there, look, it's just cuts away all the way through it, which kind of makes this book worthless. It looks like it's been wet as well. I didn't pay a lot of money for this. I got this second hand on Amazon maybe. But I mean, obviously, yeah, you can see there as well, look, it's cut out. So that's kind of how much you're... Is that going to focus for you? That's how much you're losing. So just beware if you're buying that, and I guess check the Halo Jones one as well. I believe the other run he did was called DR and Quinch, and he did a lot of the Future Shocks, which have been collected, and I've got a collection of that. That one's okay, but Skizz was the one I had to worry with, so watch out for that. Next one is really good. Unfortunately, I mean really good, what are you going to do with that? Unfortunately, this never got finished. It was Mad Love, which I believe is Eddie Campbell, his publishing company, and I think From Hell came out. It was in a magazine called Taboo, and then it came out by itself in chapters in Mad Love, but I think they burst. But I don't think that's why this stopped running. I'm not sure what happened here, but he only got 2 of them out. This is big numbers. This is the only 2 you get, and it's a shame because this looked like it was going to be really good. It's set in Northampton. I mean, if you've read like Voices of the Fire, Unearthing's not quite Northampton, I don't think, but it's the same idea. It's just like the entire life, the entire history of one specific place, one point, and I believe Jerusalem, if it ever comes out, is going to be the same but even smaller. I believe I've read that it was Alan Moore's sitting room throughout history. The space, that's the space the book takes up. Not sure if that's just bullshit or not, but we'll just wait and see. But yeah, big numbers. These were, I think these are like 15 quid each. This one I was the only person who bid on it, so the guy had £2.80 as postage, and it was 99p start, and I won it. And he was obviously pissed off, and he just sent it in a bloody, like a brown paper bag essentially with my address on it, and it got soaked. And look at that. I mean, this one's amazing. This one's real nice. And when I said to him, I was like, "Here, man, what the hell happened here?" And he didn't really seem. He was like, "Oh, it must have been the Royal Mail. It's not my fault." It's like, well, you could at least put it, like, stick it in a plastic bag, man. It's wrecked. He didn't give a shit, so I had to give him a negative thingy, and I got my money back as well. I was pissed off. I mean, you know, you put something up to bid. That's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I won that time and lost at the same time. So I mean, I am on the lookout for another one of these, but this one's fine for just now. But yeah, it is worthy. You can see on the back there, it was going to be a run of 12. Look, it goes on to 2 that time. It was going to be 12 of them. We only got 2, unfortunately. But this is maybe something that's a little bit more obscure and a little, if you're wanting to be like an elitist, an Alan Moore. What, are you okay, doggy? You'd be a little Alan Moore elitist, and you know, I've read big numbers. Go for this. Okay, last one. It's maybe my favourite of the lesser known Alan Moore works, and I think it's been reprinted a few times, but this is the first print. If you're interested in that, this is the one to go for. It's A Small Killing, it's called. It's on VG publishers, whoever they are. Alan Moore and Oscar Zarate. I apologise for that. This is great. I try and do this in one sitting. It's like a kind of a fever dream almost into this guy's mind, and he kind of loses it a little bit. He's, you know, comes back to his hometown and all this kind of stuff. But this is really, it reminds me, it's nothing like it, but it reminds me of the same feel and tone as Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum. It's like a weird kind of dream, and you know, sometimes you're kind of like, what's going on? It doesn't matter what's going on. I'm really enjoying it anyway, and it kind of just pulls you through, and you get this one done. And I mean, you can, you know, this doesn't take long to read. I don't see why that would be a problem or not, but the artwork's really nice. I'd never really heard of this guy before. He kind of reminds me a little bit. I don't know if it was just maybe the time, but he reminds me, maybe it's just the colour work of Raymond Briggs, who I don't know if any of you have ever read. Obviously, The Snowman, the classic Christmas cartoon. When the Wind Blows. That if you've never read When the Wind Blows, I recommend highly getting hold of that. And Briggs is a genius, and I don't think he's really, you know, everyone just knows him for Snowman. He's like, oh, he's a kid's author. He really isn't. He really isn't. Check out that When the Wind Blows. He's done a heap of other ones, but The Wind Blows is the only one I've got. But I mean, really, really good. Yeah, I mean, it's decent. It's decent. What was I trying to say? Yeah, that book reminds me also how that reminds me of Briggs. That book reminds me of what's his name, Ralph Steadman. Kind of some of the bigger panels in that book are really Steadman-esque. Like, it looks like he's used blow pens for the painting. Similar to Sam Keith's inkwork in the first Mage book, if anyone's seen that. Kind of reminds me of that kind of tone. We've completely gone off topic here. We're not talking about Alan Moore anymore. So anyway, that was 4 Alan Moore books. There's still other things out there, kind of lower, less well known. Things like Supreme. I've still to finish that run, but Christ, it's awesome. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, Promethea, Tom Strong, all his ABC stuff. League, which I'd maybe do a video on separately. That the novel Voice of the Fire, and his little underground magazine he did, the Dodgem Logic. It was okay. It was okay. I think it was more for himself than for us, really. He did that one. I'm trying to think. My books are just there. I don't know. Yeah, but recommend these. If you were going to be picking some up out of these, I would definitely recommend Small Killing and Halo. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.